He got himself back into gear, and I think it was on the Turtle Empire as well. So this seems to be a good Protoss map. And he eventually brought himself back into that and made it a series.
Yeah, just I was watching those games, and Matt just sort of dismantled Zane, really, didn't he? It didn't feel like Zane was kind of able to get anything that he wanted done. Just going back to this game as well, we do see TeebuL opening with his sort of standard Stargate as well. He does favour that Stargate. Stalker second as well, so not going for anything too aggressive with 2 Adepts here. Pretty safe and standard for TeebuL by the looks of it. Yeah, I would say nothing crazy going to happen here. I expect Oracle first for a little bit of harass and sort of let the Zerg settle into 3 bases.
There's nothing at home to stop this Ling from scouting everything. He's going to get a perfect clearing, clear scout on this Stargate here, so he knows exactly what it's up against, and he can prepare almost perfectly here.
Yeah, just having a little nibble at those probes as well, just being annoying, just getting those pings on them. I love being a Zerg player, just getting a Ling straight into that base and going, right, I know exactly what you're doing now. He's going to have perfect timing on his spores. He ain't going to be worried. He's just going to carry on droning. Always nice to get that nice early scout out, isn't it? Sort of figure out exactly what your opponent's doing, and then, yeah, easy game, just carry on droning, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. And especially when he knows exactly what he's up against, he can defend perfectly because he's producing plenty of queens. He's got queens in neural lines. There's a spore crawler there. So he's pretty prepared. And if it's a Phoenix first, which I think would have been a mistake, fortunately he's gone for Oracles first, there wouldn't really be much that, TeebuL could get done. Fortunately, he's going to go for the Oracle, but he's really going to have to dive here. And he might even lose this first Oracle, as it does come into the natural mineral line here.
Yeah, if he's not looking directly at it, he's gonna take a lot of damage here from the queens. Do manage to get the shield off, but the good thing about Protoss units is they do regenerate those shields, so not too much damage done. Those Oracles are probably going to try and poke and prod, see if they can get a little bit of damage done just to bring the Zerg back down a level. But to be honest, FIGARO knows exactly what's going on. I don't think these Oracles are going to get more than 3 drone kills if they're lucky. And now he's reduced to kind of being defensive of them.
Yeah, he's got to be with these Lings out on the map. When, Yasha, when FIGARO knows, TeebuL's game plan here, he can be a bit more aggressive. He can put Lings out on the map, make sure that TeebuL has to keep his Oracles at home in order to, so he can drone apart, or can get more queens out, the spores are in position, so he can have the perfect answer for these Oracles. It's probably going to build up into, it's usually 3 Oracles we see. I'm surprised to only see 2 here.
Are we live, by the way, into the game screen? I'm just noticing chat. I know it's 2 minutes behind. We've been in this game 5 minutes now.
I don't believe we have been. No, this is.
I hope you haven't been picking your nose.
I hope you
haven't been picking your nose. That's all I'm saying.
It's the nerves. It's been a couple days. It's all cool. It's all cool. These things happen.
Well, they're going to get a nice little audio podcast of this game going on. So,
yeah.
So to recap, TeebuL's opened up Oracle, didn't really get much damage. FIGARO scouted a lot. Now FIGARO sort of transitioned into that Ling Hydra Bane to fight off what is TeebuL's probably going to go to High Templar or Dark Templar or some sort of Archon Zealot push. Just establishing the 3rd base as well.
Yeah. God, if I knew we were doing a radio cast, I would have probably smiled a bit more. At the moment, I was just like frowning at the monitor, giving my best look.
Yeah, but hopefully Exo's heard us, and
I hope so. I hope so. I'd be a bit worried if he couldn't hear us right now. That means we won't be talking on stream. And yeah, I've just looked at Discord and I've got Risky messaging me. He's really looking forward to seeing his friend FIGARO do well here, because I know that those two are very, very close. I'm sure it must be quite nice for them both to be playing on the same night. There's a lot of friendships actually going on here. TeebuL and RazerBlader are very good friends, especially with RazerBlader's brother Zane as well. They're all good friends, and so is FIGARO and Risky. So it's a match of friends today.
The whole UK StarCraft scene's pretty friendly, aren't they, really?
I know you can just say that about StarCraft
friendships involved, but generally everyone sort of talks to each other. They're all hanging out in the same Discord groups. It's all really good. So, it's nice to see such, camaraderie as well as such competitiveness at the same time.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I remember people always talking about, way back in the day when UK StarCraft was big, there was always like big Skype conversations, big team meetups, friendlies going on. Of course, that was before my time, so I don't know if any of this is true. But I'm glad we're starting to rebuild that again with UK StarCraft, especially with tournaments like this. I'm really hoping to bring a bit of life back into the UK scene that wasn't there before.
Yeah, I mean, that's the plan. Obviously, bringing online tournaments and stuff as well is just so helpful. And then you've got the local lands as well. We do see a nice little Baneling drop coming into the top left here, into the natural. But I think, no, it doesn't look like TeebuL has spotted it. So this might do a bit of damage.
No, TeebuL's not responding.
That is...
Ooh, 11 probes going down.
Yeah, a little bit of a zealot run by into the 4th base here, but the difference in drones is obviously 11 probes to 5. And obviously the Zerg player can spare a few more, so really, really good Bane drop. We are seeing a Warp Prism, empty Warp Prism sort of scouting there, realizing that no, FIGARO is going to see that as well and just pulling back. So a lot of sort of little drop aggression here from both players as sort of predicted. Creep spread going well, but the composition difference right now is obviously, TeebuL really sort of specking into high gas units while FIGARO still sitting on mainly Zerglings and a few Hydras, but that is a lot of Zerg now, nearly maxed already.
I'm really liking this style out of FIGARO. You'll see a lot of people that will be like, okay, I'm going to Hydras, Hydraling Bane, but now I'm going to go into Lurkers and I'm going to ram my big fist down that Protoss boat. But here we're seeing, FIGARO sitting back. He's on a lot of Hydras. You see no Lurkers. He's just going for that heavy economy into a lot of maybe, mass Hydra, maybe into Lurkers later on, but not at the moment. Yeah, and they're just doing little harassments with Lings and Banelings, and it's really, really cool to see little complicated attacks like that.
Yeah, exactly. We did see a little bit of a Bane drop just sort of stop at the natural there. A couple of Stalkers and a cannon. Little bit of a Zealot push on here as well. 8 drones did go down somewhere. I'm not sure where they went down. Looks like it was probably at the 4th. And a 4th base up for TeebuL now. So again, TeebuL really sort of unable to do damage early on, but really sort of catching up. And that army is starting to look scary. Look how many storms are in there.
Yeah, I'm really liking the position of TeebuL. He is down a little bit in supply, but his army's a lot more technical. It's a lot more valuable than TeebuL's going into that later game. It's worth more resources right now, but as we go later in the game, this mass Hydra is really going to be weak against those storms. The Banelings, if there's good force fields going down, they can be stormed very easily. There's nothing really hard-hitting like a good Lurker, maybe some Infestors, Broodlords, anything like that. It's a very strong mid-game army, and I don't really see a lot that Yasha can do right now. He's going to move across the map, but I don't think he's going to take a good engagement against such a technical army that's full of storms, like you were saying.
No, he really needs to make sure those Banelings hit. It's going to come down to sort of how he engages, how many angles he chooses, and obviously the force field. Nice little Zealot drop here as well, just sort of delaying that. Delaying the Zerg's economy as much as he can there. There is a Warp Prism sitting in this dead space behind, not really able to achieve much with a couple of Hydras there as well. But again, just delaying FIGARO's push out. So if it hits 200-200 and the Protoss has got this sort of composition, they should win almost every time. There is a little bit of a Baneling sect there. It's going to run into some Archons. That's a whole waste of Banelings there. A little bit of a Zealot run by engagement to the top middle of the map as well, but both players sort of sitting back and just waiting for the other to make a mistake right now. So neither player wants to smash their head into anything, and TeebuL is just everywhere on this map. He knows exactly what FIGARO is up to.
Yeah, having those extra oracles really helps. I would have even thought having a 3rd oracle coming from the start. That's usually what a lot of Protoss players do, just to get that extra couple revelations off. Like we see right now, they're out of energy, where an extra couple revelations could really, really be useful now. He's got one off on those Banelings, but the Cocoon, of course, wears it off. And he's going to go into carriers now. He's going to go into 2 Stargate carrier. He's going to get his +1 air weapon. So it's looking like he's going to see, a big, large Sky Toss Storm late game army here that's going to very easily push across the map. But it is very slow, and it's a bit more technical to use compared to, say, Ling Bane Hydra like FIGARO has.
Yeah, he is going to lose these oracles now, which is a shame because they have been, doing some serious work with the revelations and the stasis wards as well. He needs to get a few more carries to make this scary, but FIGARO isn't really letting him do that. But he's not presenting too much threat. He's not harassing the Protoss. So the Protoss has been on 4 bases with, one Baneling drop essentially is the only thing that's disrupted his economy. Nice little Zealot run by here as well, just making him waste Banelings. And, as that sort of composition goes up to that carrier late game army, he's going to look at probably trading out, a few probes and whatnot just to build that army up even bigger and even scarier. You see air weapons on the way. You see, the shields on the way. This is going to be a scary 200 army once it hits the Zerg. And FIGARO is going to really, really struggle to fight this. But he's already transitioned into Corruptors, which is, a really sort of smart thing to do. But it looks like they're going to be used for Brood Lords. I don't think he knows the carriers are on the way.
I think you still need the Broodlords out. They're still very, very good against zoning the Templar, especially Lurkers as well. They're very good at that job as well. You definitely need things against the Archons. The ground units as well really stop you from jumping on those carriers with lots and lots of Corruptors. But, I mean, jumping on armies is...
TeebuL's going to lose all his high Templars and Banelings. That is awful. He wasn't quite paying attention there. The carriers are now really, really vulnerable to these Corruptors. There's only a few, but there's only a few carriers as well, forcing the High Templar to morph into Archons. He's got no Storms. Baneling's crashing in, resulting in absolutely no High Templar. And FIGARO takes a really, really good trade there. I know the Protoss army is still big, it's still strong, but that was about as good as it could be.
Pretty much, yeah. Not a single storm went off on those. Maybe it was about 6 or 7 High Templars.
Easy. Full energy as well. Full energy. He lost about 12 storms in that engage and lost pretty much, his entire sort of high gas units there. Really, really unfortunate because TeebuL's been absolutely on it this entire game. And I feel obviously that engagement would have been much better for him if he managed to get the storms off. But now FIGARO is morphing in these Broodlords. He's getting a few more Corruptors out. Lings are going to be all over the map here. TeebuL's going to have to do a lot to defend with this, unmobile army that he has now.
Yeah, there was so many reasons why that was such a good engagement. He got rid of a lot of FIGARO supply that was in, Lings and Banes that stopped him from getting a really good Corruptor count. It got rid of so many of those storms that weren't even fired up. It even took out some of the carriers as well, which really slows you down because once you get that critical mass of carriers, it becomes really hard to deal anything to this army. Like if there was, the 2 or 3 more carriers that they, the extra carrier that TeebuL lost, he could maybe jump on top of these Broodlords and really start to give hell to him.
Yeah, he can't fight this army, not with the army he's got right now. There's going to be some good storms, but there's so much air Zerg that's going to be really hard to deal. And FIGARO's also putting pressure on that natural as well, just with a few Banes and Lings, but obviously they're being caught out. Yeah, this is going to be really hard to defend this 5th base here.
Yeah, I think it's probably, worthwhile just to sacrifice this base, pull back, wait for a higher Corruptor count. He's even going to go into Void Rays as well, which is going to be really good against these Corruptor stacks here that are coming in. Some really good storms going down these Corruptors, though. But there's no storms left. I think this could be the end of TeebuL's army here.
Are still up. There isn't enough sort of blinking Stalkers here, so all the carriers are going to go down. FIGARO's done a great job in just resetting that carrier count as well, just targeting down them with the Corrupt. He's doing everything correct here. He's going to push the Protoss back to 4 bases. He hasn't got much of a bank here as well. If he picks off 1 or 2 more carriers, he's just going to have no army left whatsoever.
Yeah, I really think this is the end. It's just going to be remaxing on Lings here. And when you've got so few carriers, so few Zealots, so few Archons, there's nothing you can do. And, FIGARO's going to take the win there. He's going to take game over 1.
Yeah, it was that moment of losing sort of, those high cost units with, Zerg, basically the anti-Zerg mechanic of stuff. And he just lost all them straight away without any sort of damage at all. FIGARO doing really, really well to sort of reset the carrier count, make sure that stays nice and low. Playing really, really defensive in the mid game, looking for angles, didn't find any, so was just happy to sit back and macro. Well played from both players, to be honest. Just a little bit of just that lack of focus for half a second changed that whole game. So hopefully we'll see that again in game 2. Yeah,
I'm hoping so as well. So our map number 2 will be Golden Wall. Not actually a map I've seen too much of.
No,
Especially
it's
not in competitive play.
I was going to say it's named Golden Wall simply because it has a wall of gold, minerals straight in the middle of it. There has been some negative comments about this map.
I've heard some good ones, but it
Yeah.
depends on the player, really. There's a lot of possibility for some very heavy shenanigans, should we say.
Heavy shenanigans.
Heavy. But there's also a lot of interesting choices that can be made in this map if it does go to a macro game. But we'll have to see, because I think both of these players are macro players, to be honest, to be quite fair.
Oh, yeah. I don't think any of them I don't think we're going to see cannon rushes or, 12 pulls or anything anytime soon. I think they're both happy with their mechanics. They're both experienced players. They know this matchup. They know the maps fairly well, I would guess, as well. I know they're fairly new maps, but I assume they've been playing quite a few games on them already. So yeah, why we're jumping into the game. Be great to get the game on right from the start this time as well. And if you'd like to introduce our players.
Yeah, so we do have spawning in the bottom right-hand side of Golden Wall. He is our purple Protoss player. He is TeebuL.
And in the bottom left, we do have, again, the blue Zerg. Currently 1-0 up, FIGARO. So who's TSI? Sorry, I don't know the team.
So TSI, well, it's not really a team anymore. It used to be Wardy's old organization, StarCraft Improved, and this was the team for it that Wardy ran. It was Team StarCraft Improved, which then evolved into Wardy TV. But now that Wardy TV has become a thing, like a proper thing with Rail, the Russian Protoss, being signed on there, the old TSI isn't really TSI anymore, so they decided to make a new clan, put the logo on. Nobody's really using the StarCraft Improved name other than CSI, Clan StarCraft Improved, which I think has become Fellowship Esports now. So literally the StarCraft Improved name is completely vacant.
I don't know how people keep up with the English scene, man. People changing names, teams, days, weeks. It's like they're inventing new days right now.
When these are the people you talk to every day, you sort of start to understand this. Like, I'll talk to Astor a lot, and he's on TSI now as well. He used to formerly be on Alpha X and then OFOG. And years way back before then, I think he may have been on TSI as well. I'm not sure, but that was a long time ago. But when you start talking to these people, you start to keep track of all these, exchanges, these new names. I've got Red Dragons now, which used to be FOFOG. Yeah, it's a lot of different things. Like we have a FOFOG player here. We've got TeebuL, who's on FOFOG.
Yes, of course. Just sort of looking at this map as well, it does feel slightly sort of like Protoss favored in this case, just simply because, how close the naturals are and also how hard it is for that third base to sort of connect up as well. What's your opinion on this?
Depends how you play it. Depends how you play this map. If you try and go, well, I'm going to play very traditionally. I'm going to go, main base, and then above it's going to be my natural, and then above that's going to be my third base. I'd probably say that the Zerg is favored because, it's quite a distance between, the natural and the third bases. It's kind of hard to pressure all these three bases. Not a lot of dead space around here. So, queens are very good. But if you're a Protoss player and you're going to be like, I'm going to be a little bit cheeky. I'm going to take this gold base and have like twice the income of minerals so that I can take, I can build twice as many charge slots and do like an alternate Marjorie sort of thing. That could work really well, and that's something like SOS has been doing a little bit of. I think, was it SOS? It could have been that took both of the gold bases versus innovation
one in
recently.
Like 7 minutes or something like that.
Yeah, I think that was on Reddit one time. It's like,
there was a lot of people sort of shouting about that one. We do see the adept coming in. It's going to get a little bit of a scout, figure out what's going on, but I don't see it making out. It might make it out alive, but I don't. But there's still no third base here from FIGARO, which is really strange. There is a Ling getting a full scout as well. So again, Ling making its way in. We do see the Overlord there scouting as well. Is going to see the Twilight Council and the Robo. We're going to see some nice adept pressure. Oh no, he's going straight for the Dark Shrine. My apologies.
Yeah, I think this is a good choice. I mean, what we missed was that adept wasn't there like in vain. He didn't really try and kill anything. He was scouting around and seeing, okay, it's a 2-base lair build, and he saw that the back minerals hadn't been mined out, so that 3rd base at the back hadn't been taken there.
Correct.
Yep. So I think that the DTs are a really good sort of choice here. They're going to take a little bit longer to come in here. Maybe it would have been better with a Robo, because that would have been a lot faster, like, you know, going straight for Immortals rather than straight Robo, because he's already got one. Maybe going for, you know, straight Immortals to defend against whatever's coming here, because it looks like, oh, this is going to be Swarmhost Nidus. But yeah, this is going to go into an Archon drop.
Almost, yeah, it has to be. I mean, this map lends itself simply because you can, you know, plop your Swarmhost right next to the main and just rain down death. But it looks like TeebuL's Dark Templar is going to hit, and he's invested a lot of gas in this attack. He doesn't have any Overseers at home. No, he has one in the natural, sorry, but that's going to head out. I think he's expecting the DTs, to be perfectly honest with you, but they might just be able to do enough damage. We see the Warp Prism coming in just now as well.
Yeah, and DT's been split, so actually there's no Spore Crawlers down. There is an Overseer out, but only the one. It's going to be split very, very thin when there's 4 of these DTs out there.
But there's no 3rd base for him to sort of really stretch the Zerg out, so he's, you know, forced to attack here. He is going to get a lot of damage done here with the Dark Templars, and FIGARO just isn't ready with those Swarm Hosts yet.
He's going to get 12 drone kills, 14 now. Is he probably going to get... Oh, he loses the Warp Prism, though. This is going to be really bad. He might end up losing these DTs if he doesn't recall them.
Yeah, but he has spotted the Nidus as well. I'm sure he's worked out that this is going to be some sort of 2-base thing. DT's recalled. I'm guessing they're going to turn into Archons as well. Swarm Hosts are just about to pop, so we're going to see the sort of aggression count. Nidus worm straight into that back base, as said, and that's going to start raining down Locust into the main, doing some damage. But I'm sure TeebuL is ready. Yeah, you know, shield batteries going down to help protect there. We see the Dark Templars ready, but you know, anything that's single target is not great against Locust. Their DPS is actually insane unless you AoE them down or catch them in the air.
Oh, for sure, for sure. But there isn't that many Locusts at the moment. No. There's only just a handful here, and it isn't really going to do a lot. He will jump on the mineral line here, and it's going to get quite a few probe kills, but I don't think he's going to be able to kill the Nexus in time.
No, DT's running into the natural as well, just a Queen there to defend as well, so they're going to get even more here. But 14 probes killed by FIGARO. That's some really, really good investment from those Swarm Hosts, because they're just going to be able to come straight back home again.
I forgot how much damage those 3 units actually do.
Yeah,
They took out so many probes. I was a bit flabbergasted. I was like, excuse me? Did I just kill a whole mineral line there for nothing?
Pretty much. And we see wave number 2 coming in here as well. Again, probably going to target down some more probes. Oh no, he's going to get a free Immortal here as well. The DPS on Locust is really, really high. They can sort of take a Nexus down within a few seconds, as we're going to see here. And TeebuL's going to lose his main Nexus, and that's down to 1 mining base. Oh, we do see a DT almost killing a Swarm Host back at home as well. We do see a couple of Archons in the main doing some more damage. 10 drones killed. This is just base racing, but very, very slowly.
Yeah, I'm really liking these Adepts here. You know, with the Glaives here, they're able to do a lot of damage, and because those Swarm Hosts are so expensive,
yeah,
you
Adepts
can't get that many
in the natural as well. Yeah, FIGARO's being forced to use these Swarm Hosts defensively, which is exactly what you want from the Protoss. But again, the Zerg is now down to practically no mining drones at the moment. He's forced to sort of back off the natural. And again, I think TeebuL here is just going to kill the layer in the main, and he's got another mining base up at the 3rd as well. So yeah, really, really good strategy here by TeebuL, just not allowing the Locust to kind of do as much damage as they want to and counter-attacking as much as he possibly can.
Yeah, this is really, really good play by TeebuL here. I was a bit worried for him early, but, you know, now there's only 4 Roaches here and Swarm Hosts. You know, I'm a little less worried for him.
Yeah, I mean, honest. It's a shame that obviously the Warp Prism got picked off, because he could have probably done some really, really good micro of the Archon there, just keeping even more damage. FIGARO is going to clean this up, but again, Adepts in the natural. TeebuL just absolutely everywhere. Still no 3rd base here from FIGARO as well, and the income's going to start to get really, really silly for the Protoss versus Zerg.
Oh, absolutely. I think it's a good idea not to take this main base. I think it's more of a liability than any sort of real thing.
I would have abandoned it at the same time, but it looks like he is going to try and rebuild. There is still quite a few minerals in there, so I can understand why. But yeah, you're right. With the sort of angle that the Swarm host can get, it's a massive liability, that base right now.
Oh, killing more probes. FIGARO cannot be losing probes like this. That's almost half of his workers gone there. It was a good, what, a third of his workers gone just like that, just to those 4 adepts. Yeah. And he's going to warp it twice as many, and it's going to do so much damage. I think this could be just the killing blow here.
Yeah, he looks like he's still going for that Nidus play, but you've got to worry about the massive army just wandering into your natural there. Adept shading, they're probably going to complete, kill a few more drones. That's some really good micro there, just letting a few of them complete, just getting even more drone kills now. FIGARO losing, what, 9 more drones here? He's currently on 9 harvesters. 9 drones.
It's nothing. It's nothing. I don't think it's going to survive.
He's a natural here as well. That DPS and the DTs is absolutely insane. He has 12 drones, sorry, at the moment. The Nidus network is going to go down. Swarm hosts are on cooldown, cowering in the corner, just praying that the DTs leave them alone. Adept shading in. This is looking really, really good for TeebuL.
Yeah, I'm really, really impressed with how TeebuL's played this game. You know, he's been handling the whole pressure so well. After he lost that first, his main base, it looked really, really bad, but he's able to swing it back and take game number 2 here, evening things up with FIGARO.
GG, that was well played. That was FIGARO thinking, right, Golden Wall, I'm gonna take a free win here with a Nidus Swarm host comp. It looked good, but TeebuL just hit him with those DTs right before they were ready. Good, really good timing, really sort of good game sense there from TeebuL. I think as soon as they realized that third base wasn't coming down, he knew exactly what was going on, scouted perfectly, reacted perfectly. Really, really well played.
Oh, of course, of course. I am really, really impressed with that game.
That was a fun game.
That was. It defied my expectations. I thought, you know, Swarm hosts are out. They're in good numbers now. He's able to snipe main bases. Maybe FIGARO has this game. Apparently not. Apparently not at all.
No, it looked kind of like, oh, you know, we've seen the 2-base Swarm host quite a few times on that sort of map structure. There's a few maps that are really, really good. That one particularly. A few people sitting there, you know, if they're Protoss going, 3 wins, they're going to get it. And TeebuL showing you that, you know, if you play it right, you can win quite easily.
Yeah,
I say quite easily. That was
a very hard fought game.
Yeah. Quite easily, you know, if you're high masters and know exactly what your opponent's doing and react perfectly, easy.
You know, if you choose 6K players, you know, it's quite easy to deal with.
So we're jumping into the third map here. Simulacrum.
I don't know. I like to put it with a very soft A. I'm not a big fan of the hard A on Simulacrum. It just feels wrong for some reason. It feels like 2 words rather than 1.
Yeah. These map makers have got to sort this stuff out, you know what I mean?
Everdream. Everdream is traditionally 1 word. Everdream is 2 words on the ladder now. I don't know. What can you do? What can you do?
Exactly, yeah. Would you like to introduce our Protoss player?
Yes, of course. So, spawning down the bottom right-hand side, currently tied up 1-1. He is our purple Protoss player, representing Red Dragons. He is TeebuL.
And in the top left, we do have our blue Zerg. As I said, currently tied up in this best of 5 TSI's FIGARO.
So yeah, both of these players are guaranteed at least 15 quid. And with how poorly the pound is doing because of this whole thing that shall not be named.
Oh, we're not doing the political and
yeah.
Keeping it out of StarCraft.
Let's not make this too real, but they're going to get more money because of how the pound is doing at the moment, which is quite nice. So they're in for about 18 to 20 quid, I think, at the moment. And if you'd like to make that any more, there is an action you can do in the chat, !Matcherino. It'd be lovely if you could donate, show your support for the UK scene, give these guys a little bit more money, because they take every single penny home. And, you know, in true UK fashion, we've tried to make the prize pool as deep as possible. They all get about 3% of the prize pool each if they come 5th to 8th. So, you know, 4 guys are getting 12% altogether, which is really impressive, where a lot of tournaments wouldn't even give any money. Going all the way up to about $200. Sorry, £200 even for first place. It's and if you'd like to contribute, again, go to Match Arena. I'd love to see your support.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's £200 isn't bad for sort of, you know, a couple of nights work, you know, playing some StarCraft, doing something you really like. As I said, if you can do something you really like and make money from it, that's a winning combination, Mike.
Oh yeah, of course. And you know, these guys clearly love the game. They played the game that much. Maybe they don't love it as much now, but you know, in the past they've played so much of it. They know this game in and out. It's like it's like writing. It's like reading and writing. You might not enjoy writing too much, but you know, it's part of who they are. It's part of, you know, what makes them them.
Yeah, they're the StarCraft guys in their group of friends, aren't they?
Yeah, for sure.
We do see the Twilight Council as the tech of choice here from TeebuL. This could be akin to, obviously, you know, the DT pressure that we just saw, the Archon drops, or indeed the Adept Glaive build as well. But
yeah, the defining factor is if we see this Robo come down, like we do here.
And Ling's just getting in for the free scout again. Yeah, we're going to see the Robo go down. So
there's nothing at home.
Probably going to be either some sort of Archon drop or the Adept pressure. We'll soon see. Looks like he is trying to clear those Lings out as well before he starts his sort of like, you know, research into the Twilight Council. But the Ling escapes. The Stalker's chasing it down. But this is cat and mouse here.
He doesn't even get it. He doesn't even get it. Oh no!
He's had to start the Glaives. And obviously Figaro is going to know exactly what's going on if he didn't already.
I think he saw the Glaives. I'm not sure.
I mean, he would have seen the Twilight Council. He's building the Roach War and he's getting the lair, so I assume he knows exactly what's going on. Not to mention, you know, TeebuL delayed it just that little bit as well, so he wouldn't scout it. So it's going to hit late, and Figaro knows what's going on. It's going to be hard to kind of, you know, do some damage here, I think.
You say that, but this is also a response for DTs as well, and it depends if we see any Spore Crawlers go down, because I think last game we saw that Figaro thought, okay, it's just going to be Glaives, no DTs whatsoever. There was no Spore Crawlers down. There was a Overseer and a couple of Roaches, so he thought he was Glaives there. But do you think he's going to try and scout for DTs this time?
We'll soon see. I mean, he gets the layer anyway, but obviously that helps with the Roach speed, which is really good against Adepts. I think the key point here will be if we see some Spore Crawlers. I don't think we're going to, so I think he's just going to prep purely for the Adept build here.
You know, if I was TeebuL here, and I wouldn't have shown the Adepts, to be honest, but you know, once you commit to the build, you got to commit to that build. Yeah. I would have been really cheeky, and because you can't see warping in DTs because they're cloaked, I would have just opened up my warp prism and just pretended to warp them in, warp them at home, and warp the Adepts across the map, shade them across.
Next level.
That's next level mind games. That's what I would have loved to have seen. But you know, the Glaives is finished now, and it's going to come into the third base, and it's going to find them, you know, very, very empty.
Yeah, so he's going to have, Figaro's still going to have to do some work here. It's not just, you know, simply a move in. He's got to figure out if the Shades are going to complete. You know, he's got to split his army here well. But that's a lot of Adepts, but that's also a lot of Roach and Queen, which is going to easily push this. The Shades are moving into the natural. He doesn't let it complete, though. So TeebuL just playing really careful here. Doesn't want to lose those Adepts early. Yeah,
and this is a lot of depths here, but it's also a lot of Roaches. So I'm wondering how this is actually going to play out. Is he going to get to the point where he can start one-shotting Roaches? But even then, I don't think it trades very well.
No, I think he is just going to try and snipe here because, as I said, you have to split the army, so you can't, you know, dedicate too much here. He is fighting the Roaches one-on-one, cancels a Shade again, isn't going to get much done. He's going to lose a few Adepts here and trades just for a few Roaches. All in all, this has been really, really good hold from Figaro there. Great army control. But the pressure's still not off. The pressure's still not off.
Yeah, it doesn't look like TeebuL has really a transition out of this. It's going to go into DTs, but this might just be for Archons. Going into Archon, you know, Adept. But Archons really don't do that well against Roaches, especially not like Roach Ravager. They're just too big. There's not enough DPS there.
Yeah, really not in low numbers anyway, that's for sure. TeebuL keeping up the Adept pressure, which is the right thing to do, sort of bringing down those numbers. He does finish the Shade, though. He gets a good position on the ramp, but there's so much Zerg here that they're just going to lose everything. He's sort of picking off the production here, denying mining time, but I think he might lose all these Adepts, and that's really, really not good news.
Yeah, and he's barely killed any drones here. He's killed 3. And, you know, it's not even enough to put off Game Heart right now. It's not even thinking any drones have been lost. That's how few have died here.
Yeah, he's going to lose all these adepts as well. He picked off a queen. He's denied some mining time at the third, but all in all, FIGARO have a really, really good lead here, and you can tell by the supply. TeebuL sort of desperately now wanting to do damage with these Dark Templars, taking a third, but he really hasn't got the probe count.
There's no overseers. Oh no, there's a single overseer with the army. There's no spore crawlers down.
Yeah, so there is a DT in the main, there is a DT in the natural, and there is a DT at the third as well that just got cleared up. The Overseer having to travel between bases to do absolutely anything. He's going to get a few drone kills here, so good damage here by TeebuL, but look at the denial on that third base here. There's no stopping that Ling army. I say that.
I don't know. You might be
say
that,
but army. He's not really sort of controlling and looking. He could have easily picked off that third there, but just let his control slip. That's a shame.
All of a sudden, this is looking pretty good here for TeebuL. You know, he's kept his third base alive. He's pretty similar on workers there. Those last DTs were really, really effective. You got a good 8 drone kills there.
Yeah, lots of denied mining time as well, keeping the army at home. Managed to clear up the Lings just from that lack of control there by FIGARO, you know, keeping the pressure on. TeebuL's a great multitasker, and he's really, really showing it here, which is really nice to see, sort of high-level play like that.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But we'll have to see what his next move is. Is he going to stay in Ro8 Ravager? Because he's invested a lot into these Ravagers, into that Bane speed. And now he's going to invest a lot into these lanes here. It looks like he might go for a big engagement here.
Another couple of drones killed as well. Adepts in the main, in the third. TeebuL just really sort of tried to keep the Zerg at home, keep the pressure. And he's doing a really good job at forcing FIGARO's multitasking while he establishes that third.
Yeah, I really like this. And it's really putting on the pressure.
Yeah, you can see how much pressure FIGARO's under just by, obviously, the saturation all 3 of his base, as well as the creep spread. Like, the creep spread is barely out of his natural, and that's just akin to how much pressure TeebuL's been putting on. We see the army being scouted here. He knows the exact composition. That is a lot of Zergs, though. That is a lot. It's going to come down to some really good force fields here.
Yeah, this could just be a lot of delaying, because there's a lot of choke points on Signifrom. It's so hard to jump into these first 3 bases here, because that's just a single force field away from being walled off on each of these points here. Yeah. You know, a single Archon can get himself wedged in there. So it's really, really easy for, you know, the Protoss to keep delaying engagements. But this is going to be a big wraparound here for FIGARO. He's going to separate all of his forces. He's going to engage from all angles so that these force fields can't cover everything. And
Banelings in. Oh, those force fields just... He lost all the sentries to Banelings as well. He was too focused on that top fight there, which was a distraction. Ro8 Ravager now into the main, into the natural, onto the third. And look, he's reversed the positions here. So now, you know, TeebuL's having to fight up a ramp into Zerg's around. All those Immortals go down. There's no sentries left.
And the Immortals are gone. There's no real beef here to do anything. But with the Overseer gone, DTs...
There's no Overseer, but there's only 1 DT, so if he had 4 or 5, he might be able to kind of make the Zerg push back. Overseer coming in there. He has lost all the probes on his third. GG. Well played.
That was looking so good for TeebuL. It was looking so good for TeebuL. But then he just took a couple bad engagements. I think it would have been a really good idea if TeebuL had maybe put more cannons down the third and try and focus his army at one point. Try and do the same as what FIGARO did to him, but the other way around. So as FIGARO split his army, crush it with a larger army, because that's what happened. You know, with TeebuL there. You know, he split off a large portion of his army, and the larger portion of Yasha, FIGARO's army, went to kill TeebuL's army. The way I'm explaining that, completely convoluted, but big army killed little army. TeebuL died because his big army.
Yeah, basically he focused on the small engagement that he was winning rather than the big engagement he was losing.
Exactly, yeah.
And obviously we've seen those Banelings kind of just roll in, smash into all those sentries. No force fields went down. And that's very similar to game 1, where we saw the Banelings just roll in onto the High Templar. TeebuL kind of losing 2 games there from... good multitasking by FIGARO, dragging his attention away. Hopefully he doesn't make that mistake again. We see a long sort of game 4, good control. But both players really sort of, stretching their opponent's multitask. And that's great to see. I love games like that. I'd rather see sort of loads of little engagements, loads of sort of multitasking, drops, surrounds, etc., rather than sort of, 200 armies just smashing in. There's no fun in that for me.
Oh, not at all. We saw a couple of those in the qualifier, and I'm just sat here like, they are sitting back, they are macroing up. What do I talk about? At the end, because it'd be quite far into the qualifier, it's like 3 hours into the qualifier. I don't have things to talk about. I don't know what to talk about.
It's like what we're going to see here is a 17-minute game where both players get all their upgrade and then move into each other, and then whoever happens to take the better engagement wins the game.
Wings of Liberty style. Wings of Liberty style.
Yeah.
It could be worse. It could be Heart of the Swarm style. Swarm host versus Swarm host. Go!
Oh, man. Heart of the Swarm, Broodlord Infestor. Just every game, no matter what. Oh. It's like, I don't care what you did. I'm Broodlord Infestor. I win. I miss those days. 3 wins.
Just it's very, very strong in the Swarm days, but I remember the Swarm host being the worst. Swarm hosts were the worst. I remember that when it's like, well, Stefanus are like, well, I want to make money, so I got Swarm host.
He was the one that obviously invented just the maxing out on roaches in like 8 minutes or whatever it was. So it's just like every game was either Swarm host, Broodlord Infestor, or 200 roaches. What are you gonna do?
And speaking of legends, I think we should introduce both of our legends here. So spawning in the top right-hand side, representing Red Dragons, he is our Purple Protoss player. He is TeebuL.
And in the bottom left, it's currently 2-1 up. We do have FIGARO.
So yeah, these guys really are legends. Yasha, FIGARO will he won't play him until he won't play between lands, and then it'll come to it's a week before land, I'll start practicing, and then he'll go off and crush Gamer Richie. He'll go off and crush some of these big names.
That was a bit of a twist in the knife there, just the one person to name.
There is a bit of history between FIGARO and Gamer Richie in game. Not going to say there is personally, but there is in game. I think Matsku, the Epic LAN admin, has a personal favorite Twitch clip where FIGARO completely surrounds Gamer Richie's bio army for the final game in the series, and just demolishes it. I love Richie and all, but damn, that was a good clip. That was a very good clip. And yeah, you'll see FIGARO, he won't really practice at all, but recently he's been really, really picking up. He's been playing constantly between lands. Right now, he normally just wouldn't be playing because it's off the land. Yeah. It's not really time to play. But
what do you make of his choice of third? That's a little bit unusual, right?
Rich gas.
Yeah,
that's the only reason. That's the only reason going.
That's really exposed, isn't it? Especially with what TeebuL's been doing, sort of either Stargate or Adept Pressure. That's really exposed to that sort of.
There's quite a few upsides. Of course, there's cons as well, but you've got that forward creep spread as well. Very, very quickly, you can get your creep spread. A good maybe 30 seconds, a minute further ahead than it normally would be. If you didn't have that base, you've got the rich gas geyser, which is so important. Means you can start getting, on a lower drone count, you can be getting a bigger Roach Ravager army. You could be getting Swarm Hosts. You could be getting a faster Hive Tech. You could even be squeezing in maybe an extra upgrade in there. That's the difference it sort of makes. Because you don't need that extra drones. You don't need that extra investment there in supply, in drones, in, building that gas geyser.
Okay, FIGARO, I'm digging it. I like it. I like what you're doing there. He does manage to get an Overlord in the base, so he scouts everything TeebuL's up to. You can see, the Oracle being chronoed out, so he knows ready to get Queens out. Obviously, the Queens are going to be a little bit separated. Adept Pressure into the natural as well, but all he needs really now is a Spore Crawler, or one Queen in each mineral line, and he's going to be pretty much safe.
Yeah, I think FIGARO has TeebuL's number on this build. he defended it so well on game 1, Eternal Empire. Like, there was nothing these Oracles did. And again, it's going to get pushed away. And this is a bit of a miss micro here. Losing all these shields, but nothing really. The beam didn't even turn on.
No.
And there was only a single drone there. I don't think he was expecting this third base to be here at all.
No. I mean, obviously the adept scouted it a little bit earlier, so he knew that was there. I think he was just expecting a bit of a higher drone count, a little bit quicker. I do like the status now, so he's sort of gone with the Oracle and gone, I can't do any damage here. I'm just going to try and disrupt and slow the Zerg. And obviously putting that directly into the natural attack path is, really, really clever. Oracle now just being sort of, it's an expensive overlord, essentially, right now. Just looking here. And we do see the DT Shrine follow up once again here. With that forward base as well, it's going to be slightly harder to defend, slightly harder to link up for the Queens. So I do like the aggressive play here by TeebuL, but we see the Lings sort of circling around. They ain't going to get in this time, though. TeebuL's learned his lesson.
Yeah, the GTs have been really, really effective this time around, and I think TeebuL's scared of some kind of all-in, which I genuinely think there will be. I think these are going to be the last of FIGARO's drones. You know, he's got these gases here. He's pretty much got like 2 or 3 gas income right now, so we're going to see probably a lot of roaches coming out very, very soon.
Yeah, that layer's quite late as well. So layer only just beginning. There is a spore crawler, obviously, from the Oracle pressure, but sometimes that's just not good enough when you spread the DT. So it looks like TeebuL's sort of checking where the spore crawlers are, checking the layer timing, and thinking, where can I do damage here? So it looks like it is going to be DTs into the Archon pressure. So this might hit really hard here, but I think FIGARO's ready.
I think so. I really like the changes here because he knew he was going to get this later layer. He's got down spore crawlers, so that because every single one of the DTs that TeebuL has put on this map, this series rather, has been really effective. Those overseers were the only things cleaning up because there was no spore crawlers before. And because of that later layer, he's gone for these spore crawlers this time around. And I really like that change. It's those little details that can make or break your game. But
we still haven't seen any DTs warp in, right?
No, but I assume this
Dark Shrine timing was a little bit off then, because he just hasn't invested unless he's decided
he's going to go for them now. He was backing the gas. So... Yeah,
it just seems like the later this hits, the worse it is.
This is quite scary here for TeebuL, but there's no pressure across the map by FIGARO. He's not really doing much. He's running Lings around. He's trying to scout out things, but not really a lot is going on here for
it's a shame
TeebuL.
He's brought those Lings back on the right-hand side. That would have been a really, really good attack into that unsort of defended third there. Do see a DT getting surrounded and shut down. A couple more here going to warp in on the 4th. No defense here, obviously. Overseer warping in. Yeah, not a lot of damage done there, but he has established that third now. So, might be able to sit back in a macro game here, but FIGARO's very, very far ahead, I feel, right now.
Yeah, I'm really liking these DTs. I think this is the first one that's actually got nothing done and died off.
Yeah, big, huge Ling run by straight to this third. There is a stasis ward up there, but that's not going to catch them in the right place. And unfortunately, right now, TeebuL's army is moving out, so I think he is going to lose this third base without any issues whatsoever here.
Yeah, it's just so many Lings. This third base is definitely going down, but the pulsar beams of this Oracle's going to help a little bit, but he's definitely still going to go down. 100%
yeah, we do see the engagement here into the 4th base as well. That's a few Immortals, but that's a lot of Zerg, although he is doing really good work with those force fields. But the reinforcements are coming in now, and TeebuL just doesn't have anything. This is absolutely devastating.
With those on. Good recall, though. Going to say one of these.
But he saves 2 Stalkers and the Immortal. He's lost basically all of his army. A little bit of a DT harass here in the natural, but this is going to get cleared up as well. So he's lost basically all of his army, his third base. He's sitting on 2 bases right now, and not much else to do.
His DT's still alive, and there's no overseer there.
He's going to get
I guessed
That's
it!
not too bad.
Oh. With his last dying breath, he takes down that natural hatchery. That was quite unfortunate for FIGARO. And that's really going to help out TeebuL here, who's only just retaking his third base now. like he's going to be quite far behind in income once all this saturation gets going up.
Yeah, definitely. And TeebuL just still warping in DTs. I mean, you've got to try and make something work. There are going to be Archons, so I think we're going to see some nice sort of Archon micro, maybe just sort of a blunt force push into this third base here as well. But it is fairly defended.
This is going to be so good against this oversaturated third.
Yeah, he's going to get there. The Spore Crawler isn't in place to sort of beat away the Warp Prism, but now it is, and he's lost that Warp Prism. Those Archons are now naked and afraid. The army's here, ready to clear it up. And again, TeebuL investing a lot into getting basically nothing done, which is really, really unfortunate.
I don't know, that was good. 9 drone kills, though. That was really good, actually.
That's 2 Archons and a Warp Prism as well. So I can kind of understand it if they were about evening workers. But the income difference is absolutely crazy. Oh, actually, no, they're even now. What do I know? I'm not even. I'm just. What do I know?
Means to an end, my friend. Means to an end. It's probably likely just to rebuild this Warp Prism, but he really needs his Immortals. So yeah, you could be right. This could really, really hurt him here. You know, that Warp Prism is a missed Immortal essentially. This army is looking scary here for TeebuL, as we see on the other hand, very scary army here for FIGARO.
There's not much here for TeebuL.
Oh, that was beautiful.
He does manage to get 1 roach. FIGARO sort of waiting out the stasis trap. This third base is probably going to go down if he doesn't straight up lose the game here as well. So again, FIGARO doing a really good job just containing the Protoss. He could pull back and macro here, but I think he senses he can go for the kill, and that's exactly what he's doing.
Yeah, I think TeebuL's very much knocking on death's door right now. This is looking quite scary here for him.
Good force fields though, dividing that army up, that's really good, but there's just so much here and just not enough from the Protoss. That's a lot of Immortals,
not at all.
Once those Roach Ravager get in, that's not going to do much.
And it's looking like we're going to see the... Yeah, he's going to take the whole series 3-1, and he's going to advance to the semi-finals here over TeebuL. And he's going to face Matt in the semi-finals. What do you think to another... No, it's going to be our first ZVZ in the playoffs here, actually.
You nearly showed your biases there, Vol. You nearly showed them.
I nearly showed my bias. Oh, no. But no, it's going to be our first ZVZ of the playoffs. And it seems to be, what Matt, which is going to be his opponent, has been shown very, very... strong level of play in. He went 4-0 in his group get. He played. Did he play Molten at all? No, he only played Zergs in his group, and he went 4-0 against Asta and Johnny Rico.
That's a pretty good record, to be fair, isn't it?
Against 2 very, very strong Zergs. Yeah, I'd say that's pretty good, and not a lot of people know much about Matt. You can only really take from those games.
I sort of said, does anyone know who this guy is? I didn't have a clue, but he's absolutely crushing people. Yeah, man. Good players as well. Is he just some enigma?
No, I think he's a self-proclaimed rando. Nice. He's a guy called Matt from Doncaster.
I'd hope he was called Matt. That'd be really weird.
If he was called Dave, I'd be a little bit disappointed.
If he was called Dave, I would just literally call myself Dave on ladder. That'd be Dave's a Zerg. Yeah, that's me. Or the Matt Zerg. It's just, creativity obviously passed him up on that one, I think.
Literally, yeah. But I mean, he's been playing for a very long time, but he's been off the radar for years. He used to be on Vega Squadron. Was it Vegas? Yeah, it was Vegas Squadron many years ago. The ancient Russian team.
Yeah, so that's obviously who FIGARO's going to bump into. But our next matchup, wow, I love this matchup. I've had the pleasure of watching this live once, casting it live once, and now casting it online. This is the matchup, right?
The matchup, yeah. This is the finals. That isn't the finals, that sort of thing. It's because this is a single elimination bracket. Quite sad to see them. I
would have liked to see them clash a little bit later, but I think the chances of them clashing at some point in this tournament was pretty high. Whether it be in the finals or now, they're probably going to meet at some point.
Oh yeah.
And then obviously the winner of this
somewhat
goes to face the, Terran Mystic. So we could see TVT in the semifinals. We could see.
I see where your bias lies, and mine's the same.
I'm Zerg.
You're Zerg, but it sounds very much like you're rooting for RazerBlader here.
I just love this matchup. As I said, I've cast it live, I've watched it live, and now I'm casting it online. This is one of my favorite matchups, and to be honest with you, I've seen both players do some incredible stuff in this. So I'm really excited to what I'm going to see. I hope I don't see nothing, just standard ZVT where it goes, back and forth for a little bit and then one side wins. I want to see some creativity here. And I think if any of these players are going to be creative, it's going to be these two.
Yeah, definitely from RazerBlader, who I shall from now on call Razer, by the way. Just out of pure habit.
It's one of those things. Everyone sort of goes RazerBlader.
Yeah, it's... now I've got to make this choice as do I be a professional caster or do I just be chill UKSC2 caster?
It's chill, man. It's chill.
Are we chill? There's Razer.
The only one professional in here is Exo, who's doing a really good job at sort of keeping the stream alive, keeping it moving. Us two, we're chill. We'll sort of talk about the game, but everyone in chat kind of knows what's going on anyway. They're all friends. They're all family. They know what's going on.
At the end of the day, we've got no sponsors. It's all coming from, people's donations. It's coming from my pocket. It's coming from Risky's pocket, from Wardy's pocket, from everyone who's very kindly donated to Match Areno. It's gone from all their pockets, and for that, I'm very, very thankful. And so we've got no sponsors to please or anything like that. We are just doing it for the community.
Just us in the community, yeah.
Yeah, of course.
That's all that matters. Again, it's really good to see sort of people reaching into their pockets as well. Match Areno is actually a really clever platform of what they managed to do here for esports, allowing people to sort of donate to prize pools through various methods. Really, really clever. And it means that little sort of, well, I say little, but grassroots tournaments like this can sort of really shine. We can get quality players like RazerBlader and Risky, Mystic, Asta, TeebuL, Zane. The lot of them, they're just all really good players, and they can win some decent money.
Oh yeah, for sure. And one of these guys have been making a lot of money, especially last year with his first Epic Land victory. It's going to be our Red Terran player, recently signed by Red Dragons. Very apt color here choice, then. He is RazerBlader.
Yeah, and in the top left, I'm going to make this intro really quick because something's going on. We do see the Blue Zerg Lions Risky. So the thing we see going on, Volt, is
3 racks. This is a 3 rack. So we're going to see a lot of bunkers. We're going to see a lot of Marines. So RazerBlader, like you were saying, is coming out with something imaginative.
I like it. And Risky's only looking like he's going to scout with Overlords, but look at that second Overlord. It's heading straight towards that proxy location. Yeah. Literally on the dot.
Look at the pattern it's going to go for. It's going to go straight for this, and this is going to be so bad for RazerBlader. But
but
it's going to be helped out a little bit by the position of these buildings.
Yeah, he's gone for pull first as well. He is literally soul reading RazerBlader right now, thinking, I know what you're up to. I'm not going to let
Quick, Exo, have you got stream delay on? Because that's the meme going around. Because one time we accidentally didn't have stream delay on.
Yes.
And Risky was in the chat. Oh, he changed the direction. Is he going to see it? Is he still going to see it?
No, he must have seen it.
No, he's still going to see it.
Oh, he sees the SCV. He sees the SCV. That's all he saw.
No, Razer. It was so close. It was so close, Razer. Did he actually
had that SCV back? It might not have been spotted. We do see Lings on the way, but
straight out there
producing.
Yeah, and it's going to be bunkers at the front. So there's like 3 different types of Marine proxy you can do as Terran. There's 2 racks, 3 racks, and 4 racks. 2 racks is not fully all in, and it involves a lot of bunkers and involves getting a factory behind it and going into CC. There's 3 racks, which is going to be here. It's going to be a lot of Marines, but bunkers as well, but it's super all in. And that's why that if Razer loses all of his Marines here, like it is about to, this could be really bad, but there's some really good micro here coming out of Razer here.
Yeah, good control, but we do see a couple of roaches on the way. as well here. So Risky knowing exactly what the right follow-up is for this. Couple more lings on the 3 roaches and sort of, well, 4 roaches and a couple of lings here. Probably be enough to pick this off as long as he's got good queen micro. Doesn't lose too much unnecessary. We are going to see the bunkers start going down, but he should be able to target fire them down. And I think Risky's going to hold this very, very successfully.
I wouldn't call it so soon, but
no, I'm doubting myself. Usually I see reactions like this and I'm like, oh yeah, the Zerg's got it here. But, you know, Razer's a top tier player. He knows exactly how to follow this up properly.
Yeah, Razer's just going to lift off. He's going to go home. He's going to cut his losses here. But, you know, this is going to be turning into a really, really harsh game here for Razer. He's got no tech at home. He's got no factories down. He's really going to struggle to hold this, because if it was just a normal game and these were roaches coming across the map, you'd want a tank out. You'd probably want a cyclone out to try and help to deal with these roaches. But you know, just for this, it's going to be really, really hard for Razer to hold. There's going to be there's no tanks. There's nothing to shoo away these Ravagers here. And with the high ground Overlord here, it's going to be able to snipe off these supply depots, this bunker eventually.
Yeah, we're going to see the classic battle between Queen and Barracks as well. You know, that age-old battle that happens almost every ZVT. We do see the roaches sort of raining down biles here as well. We're going to see some good corrosive biles coming down. He is going to break this without much resistance here from Razer. This is really, really good play by Risky. Barracks still not landing, so he's only producing from 1 at the moment. Or none, sorry. No, none in the main. Factory about to come down, but there's only 1 bunker. And that's a lot of stuff from Risky at the front door.
Yeah, this was a really, really harsh sort of read into what Razer was going to be doing in this game. To be hard countered like this so much, it's got to be so frustrating at the start of a series here, because I don't really see much of a way that RazerBlader comes out of this alive, really.
Yeah, I think he holds if he managed to get this tank out before the corrosive biles sort of ping down the bunker, but he's so far behind. I mean, look at Risky. He's taken a third. He's droning up. A couple of Ravagers at the front door here. Razer's almost stuck at the top of this ramp right now, so it's going to be hard. And he's going for a Cyclone first rather than a tank.
Yeah,
kind of makes sense, but I think I'd prefer the tank.
Nah, the Cyclone's really good, because with this many Ravagers, you file down the tank.
Yeah, that's true.
And you've got to have it so far away. It's not very good at shooing away these Ravagers. With the Cyclone, you can just lock on and just avoid the Ravagers completely. Just keep pushing them away, so you can take your own natural.
Risky, I think, is a little bit afraid of Razer doing something here, but I don't think he should be. I think he should feel completely in control. Good back off here from the Cyclone as well, just not allowing it to get any sort of damage. Risky just continuing to drone here, so he's ready to settle in. He doesn't think he can win here, but he's going to just contain the Terran as much as possible. And Razer with
as much value as possible.
BM CC coming out here, he thinks he's got to break this.
No, he just needs to take the CC. He just cannot live without this, so he's going to be really aggressive with his CC and with his units here. But he's got to avoid these biles. These have been some really good biles here by Risky. Just one of these biles will take out a comp of Marines easily. Yeah. And that could very easily be game over. With such a fragile
are getting a little bit low, but that's still not a high Marine count at the moment. So a couple more Marines, and he should be able to... Razer going into basically 1-base battlecruiser.
I like this. I like this. BCs are very durable. They are the most cost-efficient unit you'll probably get as a Terran, just because they take so much of a beating. Ooh, I don't know if I like that lock-on, but hey, it's value. If you can push them down this ramp, there's no high ground vision, and that should be Risky done away with.
Yeah, Risky doing such a good job with a small unit count there, just sort of containing Razer. He's on 3 bases now as well, practically fully saturated. I mean, he's
ready for a 4th base as well.
Yeah.
But Risky's quite rightly so scared of what could come out here. That's why there's spine crawlers down, there's spore crawlers, you name it. You know, Risky's got that defense because he can't take any risks. He's gone super greedy. He's still droning up now. He's going up to nearly 70 workers here. He's got to be, he's got to be playing it safe with all that static defense. He's got to, otherwise he'll be punished hard.
Yeah, battlecruiser warping across. It's going to go to the dead space between the 3rd and the main. There is a spore crawler here, but there's not a great deal of queens ready to fight this off, so it is going to get some drone kills. But Risky, fairly well positioned here to, you know, sort of swat it away. But my God, the battle cruisers have a lot of health.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was on about. And, you know, he's going to get a lot of value here, but, you know, Risky's in a perfect position. Risky's the sort of player that will go mass queen upon mass queen upon mass queen sort of thing, just as it's a really good unit for defense against Terran, and it costs no lava, which is a really big upside, because that means more lava for drones, more for roaches. Anything he decides is not going to be taken up by those queens.
Yeah, when did Zerg figure out that queens were good? He used to be like,
ever since they buffed them to 9 range, really. Because look at this, it's shooting from halfway across the map, man. This is incredible. I mean, I say that with a pinch of salt. I am a Terran, and I'm going to be a little bit salty about the range of queens. But, you know, they are very good units at the end of the day. They're very tanky. They can heal each other. They can inject. They're a very heavy macro support unit, and they only cost 150 minerals. They are, you know, if you didn't get them, you'd be very, very silly.
Yeah, I mean, a queenless game is probably a game that you're going to lose as a Zag player, to be perfectly honest. So. And again, you know, you expand so quickly now, you saturate so many bases because the early game is much more macro focused. So, you know, when you run out of lava, but you've got 1,000 minerals, you expand and make some queens. Easy game.
I like this greed out of Razer here. He's taking that very, very quick third base, he's placing it down, you know, just after his natural has been, you know, fully saturated, and he's constantly producing those SCVs. When you're in a position like this, you have to take risks.
Oh, no, that's bad news.
Oh, no. That is not good. That's the DPS he needs here.
Yeah, the Marines and the Cyclones doing such a good job. I mean, that Cyclone's on 8 kills, which I imagine is probably all Roach Ravager. That one's on 6, which again, I probably imagine is mostly Roach. So doing a really, really good job, really cost efficient there. But Risky is getting to a scary amount here. He's almost he's saturated 4 bases now, so it's just a case of getting to 200 supply, and he's very, very close.
Yeah, this is where the numbers lie a little bit. Like, Ravagers are 3 supply, and they don't really hold up to that sort of supply. Like, a Marine is 1, but I know I'd rather have 3 Marines than a single Ravager. That sort of thing. And it's where the supplies can lie a little bit. They're a bit, you know, cheap for their supply costs as well. So that's why you'll see this massively inflated supply count. Because RazerBlader is not completely dead right now. He's got a tank here. He's going to be pushed back here because he's going to cut his losses here. That's it. But he's not completely dead. Not just yet. He's got one last breath of life in him.
Ravager. There's a lot of mules there. That base is probably going to go down. There's only 1 tank fire in that Marine line is down. And there is just so much Risky. And he just smashes through.
Too much Risky.
Too much Risky. Risky play by Razor. And you know what? He transitioned so well out of that. I'm really impressed.
Yeah, yeah. The best he could. He wasn't really in a good position. If it was 2 Rex proxy, then yeah, he would have done a lot better. But, you know, he did the best he could, really.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely, Risky played that really, really well. He scouted perfectly. It was almost like he had map packs on. He literally clicked the overlord exactly where, you know, exactly where those racks could be. He got enough of a scout to kind of pull his overlord back as well. I'm not sure if, you know, Razer realized that Risky had scouted him or not. I'm not 100% sure. We'll have to sort of see at the end of the game if we ask him. But well played by both players there. You know, Razer just sort of trying something, which again is exactly what I wanted out of these players. I wanted to see some stuff like this. I didn't want to just see, you know, long macro games. I wanted to see some.
You did want to see long macro? I love long macro games, man. What are you about?
I do, but I like them to start like that, or start with something a bit crazy in the mid game. You know, not just
that's fair
sit
enough,
back
that's
and 200.
But I mean, when they get maxes, when both of these players shine the most, we'll see Risky. He's a lot more of a mid to late game sort of play, where Razer is definitely a late game player. He's one that's very, you know, cognitive about the way he plays. He'll constantly be thinking, okay, if I need to like split my army up this way, and when he has a lot more tools at his disposal, he'll do that a lot better. There'll be nukes going off. There'll be little liberator harassments. There'll be drops going on, and that's what Razer really excels in that late game, when he has those tools to really do a lot of damage all across the map, where Risky's more of a, hey, I'm going to have a load of roaches and they're just going to go over here a little bit. Going to have some more, they're going to go over there a little bit as well. He's really good at getting those value out of his units like early on.
I agree. And quick introduction of the players, because again, something's going on.
It's going to be another 3 racks out of our red Terran player. Spawning down the bottom right-hand side. He's representing Red Dragons. Well, he's also up in the top left as well right now. He is
in the bottom
RazerBlader.
right and the top left.
But yeah, this could be just 2 racks. Oh no, he stops at 15 SCVs. So it's going to be 3 racks again.
Yeah. And the bottom left, currently only in the bottom left and 1-0 up, we do see the blue Zerg, Risky. So
Notably
Risky's
not going full
Overlord
first this game.
Not going to scout it this time. He's not sending a drone out, so he's probably going to miss this.
If this works, I get the feeling that Risky will not be happy. He will not be happy at all that, Raz will go for the same build twice in a row. When it's usually what people say, like, you don't cheese twice in a row in a series. And I think that's the sort of collective knowledge that, Risky's relying on here. He often treats a lot of his games like they were ladder games. I think that's what I've been told is one of his weaknesses. He doesn't prepare massively for a tournament, but more goes off cognitive. Yeah. Well, he thinks a little bit about it by, it's RazerBlade. He's going to go for, the first map he's going to go for a prox.
Second map, obviously, however, the Overlord catches the SCV in the weird sort of scout position, immediately pulling drones, which is the right thing to do. However, it's going to be a little bit of RNG. The Marine is coming in here, is going to manage to push back. I think that bunker is going to complete. No Lings out just yet. They are on the way. He is trying to get a surround on that SCV, but the RNG of the SCV right now just bobbing away. And he's got another spare one as well. That bunker is going to complete.
Yeah, he just needs to get the Marine alive. Oh, no, it's not.
Pick there.
He's got to keep that SCV alive here. Yeah. Because this is only... it's only 2 racks here. Because
there's
only
4
2
Marines
racks.
there. 4 Marines
to have this SCV alive. He needs to micro everything perfectly. And he's so close. Just a little bit of a touch on that SCV. And I think he'll get it alive. But, this is such good
the Queen out now is going to target down the SCVs. There's such a good little micro battle going on between both players. He loses the SCV. That's probably going to be the end of this push. If he can get a Queen here, that would be nice. But no, there's too many Lings out now. And Risky again defends a little bit of cheese from Razor.
So close. He wants that Queen so bad.
Yeah, that would make a difference, obviously, just slowing down the production there. Doesn't manage to get it, and now he's going to have to pull back and start macroing. We do see the factory and the starport on the way, so again, I'm probably going to see a battle cruiser, I guess. But he's only on 1 gas, so maybe not. Maybe late.
This is probably going to be Hellion drop, maybe.
Oh, okay.
I'm thinking Hellion drop right now. So we're going to see probably 4 Hellions come out off a naked barracks, factory even, and then we're going to see just a naked... what are they called? Medevacs, that's what they're called. As a Terran player, I forgot what it's called. The most essential unit.
Just that, absolute, essential unit that's been in the game for 10 years. Casually forget that name. Yeah. We do see Razor just going into that.
10 years, isn't it? Wow.
Well. But no, it looks like you are absolutely... Oh, no, we do see a Lib.
Oh, no!
You are absolutely spot on. Hellions on the way out, but a Liberator also. All off 1 gas by the looks of it as well. Nice.
I'm not sure if I'm a fan of this, because we were seeing, in the previous series, there was a lot of, micro going on with warp prisons, with, the Swarm Host Nidus. Maybe a Hellion job would be good, taking advantage of this dead space in the bottom, the large open area, able to get into this main base, where a Liberator, it has no dead space to hang around in.
Oh, yeah, you're absolutely right. But actually, RazerBlader is actually ahead on workers right now. Risky's invested a lot into units, and it looks like he's going for a big Bane bust, but Razor spots it, and he's already got bunkers. They're going to land. The Liberator's in position to stop this.
But he's not going to get the buildings down in time. He needs to keep these Hellions alive.
There's one Baneling in there.
Change everything. Oh, the Hellions! The Hellions! Oh, no!
Risky.
This is disastrous.
Perfect amount of units there to just bust. There is still a Baneling, and he's trying to get that connection so hard. No, that was a good Baneling.
No.
That was a very good Baneling.
It was so close. If you got those walls down a bit sooner, engineering.
We're talking 5-6 seconds here. If those racks get into place, he doesn't get that Bane bust. The Lib just pushes everything back. But good game sense there by Risky. Again, just swatting away that early cheese from Razor and just enjoying the fruits of that, really, and just being able to openly punish him. That was some good play. I like that. I'm loving these games. I love these guys. They're such good players. They're so
they're amazing.
in each other's heads as well.
I would hate to be Razer right now. You're down 0-2 in a series, and you're one game away from elimination, where you're really the second favourite in the whole tournament, really. You are particularly the second seed here, and you're facing the number 1 seed in the first round, and you're one map away from being 0-3. And I don't think there's been a single 0-3 in the entire playoffs.
No,
could you imagine be the only 0-3 in the quarterfinal so far? And your Razer
between the first and second seeds as well.
Yeah, it's crazy, but I don't know how Razer could deal with the pressure. And what would you think his plan for Game 3 will be, which will be on Eternal Empire?
The thing is, right, so we know that both of these players are really good late game. You've said that obviously you think Razor's late game is more technical than Risky's.
I'd say so. That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah, so I'd like to see this go into the late game where, we could see some. However, but judging by the first 2 games, maybe Razor just wants to end this quickly. I don't know.
I don't think so. I think he was just trying to get a quick map out.
Yeah, maybe sort of put Risky on the back foot a little bit. Make him feel a little bit frustrated, I mean, as much as I'd love to play a game of StarCraft right now, I think we should probably put the players
in. 100%.
Yeah, so I think you're right. I think Razor was just trying to take a game here. Nice early, quick win. Maybe. I'm host apparently. Why am I host?
Yeah, do you want to fix that lobby real quick?
I've just promoted you.
Yeah, I can't actually see Razer or Risky. Do you want to do it?
Yeah.
I literally cannot see them. They are little black bars for me.
Oh yeah. Have you been blocked?
No. I am now in a black bar, and so is Belair.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Lobby bug. Anyway, what were we talking about? It was what could happen game number 3 here?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, are we gonna see another cheese? That's the question.
I doubt it big time. I think we're probably going to see BCs again, but Razer's got to play well, really the top of his game here to start bringing it back, make it into a series. Because I would really hate to see Razer go out 0-3. I really would. And that man is spawning in the top right as our Red Dragons player. He is RazerBlader.
And in the bottom left, having fended off 2 early cheeses and is currently 2 maps up, we do have the Blue Zerg and number 1 seed in this tournament, Risky. So we're not seeing a cheese. At least not yet. Anyway.
Not yet. We're not seeing any sort of 2 base all in, 1 base all in even.
Pull first? Fairly early pull as well. Is he afraid of number cheese?
I believe this is a 15, or was it a 16 pool? I believe it might have been a 15 pool.
Still, that's giving up a lot of sort of early expansion time here. It's not too impactful, but it does sort of mess up that early game rhythm versus the Reaper a little bit.
Yeah, but this might just be into roaches straight away. Because we've got a very late gas here. It's not going to be any sort of fling flood.
Yeah, we've seen the Ravager bust quite a lot recently, especially on sort of as big as this map looks. It's actually quite small rush distances, natural to natural.
Yeah, it's just like it's going to be the 3 roach sort of style. But where is this roach war? It might just be completely standard here. This is
yeah, I mean it's another way to open. It's one that actually Serral uses a fair bit. Is the pull first. It just allows you to swat away that Reaper, but it does sort of impact your your sort of mining time into it makes that layer just that little bit later as well, because you just don't have the drone count to kind of back it up. He is going to miss the lings coming out here, but he's going to spot how late that expansion is and realize that, you know, he's gone pool first.
Yeah, 2 minutes that hatchery should be done. So instantly that's alarm bells going off, and RazerBlader is just going to scout around, see what's going on here. And it's going to be just, it's actually going to be shooed away by this queen here, so he can't actually see if it's roaches or not.
No, it looks like Risky's just settling into that macro game. He is going, it looks like he might be going for that third, or maybe he's just fake. No, he is going for it. He's just sending lings in first to sort of push away that SCV, stop the block.
I quite like this. I quite like this. It means that Risky's going to be getting that really quick third base here, because he's pushed away this Reaper here. He doesn't know where these lings are, and, you know, they're the ones following the SCV, but he doesn't know if there's others waiting at his own third base, waiting for this Reaper to move out like it's about to now. And behind that, it's just going to be, we're just going to see Hellion, probably Liberator out of RazerBlader. This is completely bog standard. I don't think this is the time for RazerBlader making any real risks here.
No, it looks like he has settled into that macro game. I think, he's thought, you know what, these proxies aren't quite working for me. I'm going to go back to my normal style, which is probably the right thing to do.
I think so. And we're going to see these first two Hellions, and depending on if he moves those out or, move them out with the Reaper or keeps them at home, that shows just how scared RazerBlader is. And he's gonna send them out, and he's going to take a bit of map control here, very early map control, deny a little bit of that creep, poke a couple of lings if he can, maybe get a little bit of value out of them until, he gets this full wall off, and then can send out all maybe 6, maybe 8 Hellions. And it's going to be Banshee with Cloak here, and that's what Risky's going to scout here. But the question you've got to be asking as this as third player is, as soon as I leave this base, is that Cloak going to be cancelled?
Yeah, exactly.
This could
That's
be a
what a lot
Raven,
of
it could
Terrans
be a
sort of
BC.
do. And do you know what? I really like Risky sort of spending that second 100 gas on the Overlord speed just to get the full scout there. Just completely, scouting Razor, knowing exactly what he's up to. He's seen the Cloak Banshee. Is it going to get cancelled? Is it not? It's better to prepare for it, I suppose, isn't it? Yeah. So we do see the layer on the way. We are probably going to see some Spore Crawlers in a few seconds as well. And again, those extra Queens on the way, because, Queen's a good unit, yeah?
I'm a bit worried here for RazerBlader, though. He lost, a Hellion and a Reaper, which does really make a difference, because 6 is the magic number for these Hellions. It's really, 3 one-shots a ling, so it's really helpful to have 2 of those so you can start clearing out packs of these Zerglings. So he's no longer got that capacity, to really clean up lings, but he's also going for Banshee, and I know that RazerBlader isn't really comfortable with Banshees. He always seems to get them killed very, very easily. So I think he's more scared of some sort of Nidus, and that's why he's going for Banshee, because it's the most versatile of all the tech choices here. A Liberator really just isn't going to cut it against really heavy Roach Ravager play, but Banshees are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it makes perfect sense. But that's a lot of the Queens, and these Hellions aren't able to do much here. We do see the Banshees now out on the map. Risky, I don't know if you noticed, done that actual double scout back through with the Overlord, so seen the Cloak, so he knows exactly what's up here. Yeah,
and I am worried because this Cloak has really delayed RazerBlader's 1-1. And that's going to make the pushes so much later. Yeah. And already we see Risky with a very healthy drone lead. Although so he's not able to really put it to his advantage with a 4th base, he is still mining quite a bit more than RazerBlader is right now. Losing one of these Banshees. Yeah. This is what I was worried about. He would just end up losing these Banshees here.
Yeah, that was really good positioning by Risky there. A couple of Queens on the main, couple of Queens on the pinning those Banshees in. Making use of that dead space there wasn't quite enough for the Banshees to hide in. Razor does have a third completed, but it is in the wall. It's floating across now as well. But so far, Risky doing a really good job of just swatting away that aggression, playing really, really well here. We do see a cloned Marine as the block. But yeah, Razor spotted it straight away, and he does go down. He is about to get squished as well. Splat.
Squishy squish.
I still think that should be a mechanic. I still think buildings landing on army should squish them. I think that'd be absolutely hilarious.
Really though, that would be so broken. You'd just
Yeah,
see
of course it
people
would.
going around
It'd be
with.
funny.
They'll just be going landing, barracks inside of people's mineral lines just to crush them. And it's like,
Oh,
okay,
that'd be so funny though. Come
It'd
on.
be funny, but it'd be like, bronze leaguers would be really struggling with that, man.
Yeah, that'd make people
Think
quit
of the
game, wouldn't it?
bronzies. Think of the bronzies, man.
That'd make people quit like instantly. Like, how did you lose your game? Well, he landed a barracks on my base. Oh, you'd love to see it. We do see 1-1 completing here for Razor. 1-1 slightly behind here. No Bane speed as of yet. But that's a lot of Lings able to just push back those Marines so far. Bane's on the way finally. 4th place for Risky as well. Just taking full advantage of the fact that he's got map control. Really, really well played here by Risky so far.
Yeah, even though the RazerBlader's Banshee play doesn't work very well, he's still not in a bad position here. He's still got a pretty healthy work account, but this is getting pushed away. But it didn't lose too many Marines, and it's kind of interesting to see earlier on where these Banshees didn't work out well because RazerBlader models himself after Maru, and Maru is such a good Banshee player. That's quite a lot of Marines lost, and that's a lot of map presence gone. Yeah, exactly. Maru is such a good Banshee player, and Razer just can't seem to live up to that, unfortunately. I'd love to see him be able to do it, but it seems every time he goes for Banshees, it just doesn't work out for him.
No, we do see Razer picking up the Drilling Claws upgrade as well as Toot. So I think he is ready for the Muta transition. I'm not sure if he scouted the Spire.
Yeah, he did a good scan.
That's going to be the right thing.
He did a really good scan. I think he was looking out for the lair timing.
Yes, he saw it,
got something better, the Spire. And that means he's going to pull back with his drops. He's probably going to build a couple of turrets in his mineral lines. And go into mines.
Though, so these Mutas are going to get a little bit of damage, but we do see some Marine. And 1-1 Marines versus a couple of Mutalisks is, bad news for the Mutalisks here. Does lose 2 SCVs, not a great deal for the investment. We do see some Ling run-bys ready as well, but lots and lots of Mutas on the way. 4's on the way, Drilling Claws on the way, and 2-2 about to finish. Razor's army is going to clash really, really well with Risky's. It's just a matter of being cost-effective now.
Yeah, but there's a lot of tanks here that really aren't going to work well against Mutaling Bane here, and there's going to be a lot of stuff just getting picked off by these many. We're up to 20 Mutalisks here. And that's enough to jump on these missile turrets if he's not careful.
Yeah, we do see the Mutas swinging into the main as well. Are going to pick off a few SCVs. The 4 gets a few good hits there. Marines ready for them. Not doing a great deal of damage, but just being annoying, keeping Razor on his toes, keeping Razor behind. But he is pushing out with a small group of Marines here. But that's a lot of Ling Bane. If he's not careful, he's going to lose this entire army.
Yeah, that was a very quick pullback by RazerBlader, but I think that would have been even more disastrous for Risky. That's a lot of Lings. That's his entire Ling army. If he'd lost all of those Lings, however many of those Marines he killed, that would have been really bad because that's so much lava he has to find from somewhere.
Here by Risky as well. Good timing on that. Managed to pick off a couple of tanks in the back there before the Marines get in. Lots of Lings running about. Baneling count is practically 0 at the moment on the front line, but those Mutas still live. Good transport there on the 4, making sure that gets up into the main, ready to swat away. The 4th base is landing, but look at the creep spread from Risky. He's got absolute complete map control between creep spreads and the Mutalisk. RazerBlader can't move. He just cannot move out. Look at those creep tumors. There's more creep tumors.
That's a really struggles with Mutas. It's one of his weaknesses, really, that Raz have really struggled to Mutalisk, and it's really showing here. He's completely contained. He's struggled to take expansions. He's struggling to really multitask and, attack where these Mutalisks aren't.
And a big Baneling hit here, clearing absolutely tons of Marines. The Ling's still standing. Good control there by Razor in the end, but the Banelings have already done the 30 more Mutalisks in the top as well. Mutalisks climbing down on this army. Zerglings in the middle of it. Lots of Banelings coming in. Razor gets some good splits there, but there's just so much of Risky already in. He does manage to hold, but those Mutalisks are still alive. 3-3 almost done. That might make a difference if RazerBlades manage to hold on without losing too much more.
Oh yeah, for sure. But there's just so much getting picked off by these Mutalisks. He's lost 9 of them, but they're still getting so much value out of this. These Thors are still, wandering around. There's still Mutalisks. These Mutalisks are still doing really well. And it's got to be down to this 3-3 push. Raz has got to focus on, remacroing onto these 3 bases and maxing out for a big 3-3 push, with so many medevacs, so many Marines out here, even his fours, maybe even pull the boys if he needs to. But
yeah, that fourth is going to go down to banelings though. That's that's something you can do as a Zerg when you're really far ahead, is just smash banelings into bases to clear them. Muters tried again on this third to take that out, but the Widow Mines and the Marines managed to push it back. RazerBlader is holding 3-3, just about done. But look at the supply difference. Look at the income difference. 37 harvesters to 77. I know mules are good, but they're not that good.
No, they're not amazing. But, we're on Hive Tech here for Risky. He's got so many options ahead of him. But that doesn't mean he's out of the woods here. He's still on Mutaling Bane.
Got to be really careful here. Yeah, 100%. You've got to be really careful, because most people look at that and go, oh, yeah, I'm so far ahead. I can just keep smashing units into units. Big surround here. Banelings on creep as well.
Amazing good splits here on the right-hand side. This is incredible here for Raz. He's really making it. Just doesn't have enough to overcome Risky, whose macro is just too strong. And I think
he done about as good as he could there. That was a really, really efficient trade. Even razing to pick up the 4. Only a couple of lings left. 42 lings in production. That's not a great deal, really. 5 more Mutalists on the way as well. If Razor keeps the pressure on here, he might just crack Risky.
I'm not sure that. I think there's just too much macro out of here for Risky here. There's going to be so many lings coming down, but these mine shots are going to be good.
Yeah, I think you're right, though. It's just too much Risky. Even the Grats GG. Well played by Razor. Well played.
Very well played. I'm really disappointed to see Razor come out that early, especially with his brother coming out this early as well. The Secker brothers, the Sexy Seckers, knocked out really, really early, and that's really not nice to see.
I found their new clan name.
The Sexy Seckers. Yeah,
that has to exist now in the UK.
It does. The Sexy Seckers was a thing for the nation ages ago, back in November 2019, I think it was. There's some good clips of us at Epic Land there, with us all showing off, and because they did the match versus the USA in Brazil while Epic Land was going on. It was really cool. It was really, really amazing atmosphere. We had a big screen while we were there. It was amazing. That's when the Sexy Seckers brought it out, and Zane took a map off. What's his name? The American guy who always brings it out for Nation War, wearing the US shorts and shirt.
McCanning Exo. So.
I'm Canning. Yeah, that's it.
So, the bracket is shaped up here.
Yeah,
we're going to see a ZVZ. And
Zerg is winning. Wow.
Hey.
We have
none of that
3 Zergs in the semi.
None of that in here.
There's one Terran, no Protoss. I'm happy about the ladder, but I'd like to see more Terran representation. Genuinely.
Yeah, to be fair, we did have some really good Protosses in the quarterfinal. Just none of them managed to push through. I mean, they did go against 2 really, really good Zergs. So, it's hard to kind of go, maybe one should have made it through, maybe. But, when you're clashing with Zergs, and I know, Figaro's ZVP and Matt's ZVP is really good. Mystics, apparently, TVZ is really good as well, beating Asta 3-1. And then Risky beating RazerBlader 3-0 as well. So it is going to be Risky versus Mystic and Figaro versus Matt in the semifinals. When is the semifinals?
It'll be next Monday. Will be both of the semifinals, and then next Thursday is the finals and 3rd place match. So not long left, and we'll find out who's going to win the first season of the UKSC2 League.
Yeah, I'm excited. To be fair, I'm not saying I would call it here, but judging by the games I've casted today and what I've been, there's some definite favourites, and he's going to come through, I think.
I don't know. I mean, Risky's always said that Figaro is the scariest player here, and he might even win. He says he always says that, jokingly, but there is some truth to it. He demolished almost TeebuL here. That Golden War game was very, very well played up by TeebuL, but apart from that, was some crazy play there.
Yeah, just also 2 really good games tonight. Over a bit shorter than I would have, and I don't think the scores reflect the games at all. I think they're all really, really good games, and I think most of them could have got either way. But I'm excited to see the semi-finals coming up. To be fair, that's some big names, some big clashes. You know, there's going to be some good stories there.
Yeah, the Risky Mystic happened at Epic Land as well. It was in the quarterfinals as well. And that was a 3-0-4 Risky, and there was some really close games in there. I remember there was being one big 3-base all-in by Mystic on Nightshade. That was some very, very close games there. You know, with really good micro, I think Risky can be taken down.
Yeah, I just as I said, I'm just watching Risky's, you know, ZVT there, and he demolished Razor in that series. I know obviously Razor went for a couple of cheeses, but that was one-sided by the looks of it. So I think Risky's ZVT is really good here.
I don't want to use the word demolish too much because you know, they are our friends at the end of the day, and they go, "Wow, Razer, Risky demolished you. How do you feel?" And it's like, well, not great now, thanks.
Yeah,
cheers.
not good. Cheers for the losers interview, like.
Yeah, thanks, man. But no, I genuinely love everyone here.
Yeah,
I'd love to see everyone advance, but you know, it's a cutthroat world where there can only be one winner. It's like the Highlander, but
there can only be one winner until the next tournament.
Next tournament, there will be a next tournament. Maybe in a different format because it's like a GSL clone. We might do a team league. There could be anything.
I'd love a team league. I'd like to see a team. I love that format. I miss that format. I remember
like a pro league, a UK pro league. It probably end up being like the BJ Destruction match by Bong Young, like where there's 3 on the team, they play every week, that sort of thing. But it'd be hard to balance that because they're not pro gamers. So after.
Yeah, let's do some shout outs then. Where can we find the UK StarCraft scene? What's going on with that?
The main place you can find us is over at UKSC2. And from there, you can find our links to Discord as well. We've got a really lively UKSC2 Discord. Join us for all the information on things like on meetups, StarCraft, and even the UKSC2 League, as well as LANs as well. It's the main gathering place for all the guys in the UK. That's the 2 big ones there. You can find me over on Twitter as well, at Voltacus. You can find me over on the UKSC2 Discord, of course. And where can they find you?
Basically, I'm on Twitter at the moment. Like, I don't have time to stream, man. But yeah, you can find me on Twitter at SC_ButtonMeUp, and obviously on this channel occasionally. I filled in for Watt tonight just because he's a little bit of a raspy voice. So, you know, you could have got some much better casting from Watt, I feel. So, yeah, thanks for bearing with me. If you want to hit me up with a follow, SC_ButtonMeUp on Twitter, that'd be fine. Other than that, I'm excited. As I said, I'm excited to see this tournament to its end, and thank you again for the UK StarCraft scene for putting this on, putting a decent prize pool in as well. Lots to play for, lots of action, and yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah, I mean, don't let yourself down. I mean, you did a great job tonight, so I'd love to have you again. But maybe we'll see if we can get some big boys out for the semi-finals.
Yeah, I'm liking the idea that was floating around earlier. I'm not going to say too much.
Yeah, no spoilers.
It was a good idea. That'd be a good finale.
Yeah, for sure. Less of my face, more of other people's face. That's always a good idea. But
get the handsome professional people in, you know.
But I think the biggest shout out needs to go to Exo for the entire group stage and playoffs. Who's been observing quietly, running the stream very quietly, doing an amazing job. Without a doubt, an amazing person to work with. I think he's probably one of the better people I've worked with over my years in StarCraft. So thank you so much to him.
Good to cast with as well. I managed to cast a couple of games with him at Epic. Knows his stuff, knows what he's doing. Yeah, big shout out, even though he's in the Discord right now. Like, don't call me out, I've made mistakes.
Yeah, everyone makes mistakes.
Mate,
I think on that note, with a happy note of Exo being shouted out, I think we should call it there. I think Exo wants to play us out to some highlights from Monday's semi-finals, and then we'll leave you to it. Have a good night, everyone. Thanks again for watching.
See ya.
Massive splash damage on the paintings there from the Archons. Oh,
no force fields, and the paintings went straight into the army of Zane. The Locusts are coming. We do have 3 cannons. We have 1 million of these swarm hosts. There's Locusts.
Can the Archons get good splash here? He actually lifts them before they can.
Playing really, really well at the moment. 2 Archons are coming into the main base. He's thrown Matt off a little bit here. He hasn't got any units in position. And this is what he needs to be doing. Look at this aggression. Bane's coming into the third base. They are not speed Banes. They're not Ferrari Banes. And they're coming into the third. And he doesn't want to lose all of these workers, Savage.
This is really nicely done.
The information that Zane has. And the Banelings, what a great run by. He's going to answer, and the Brindle's killing everything.
Yeah, he doesn't have Blink, Richie. He doesn't have anything to get under the Brindle. GG goes down, and Matt takes the series 3-1.
Oh my god, Mystic almost made a horrible blunder here, but the Banelings are completely gone. Asta's defences are now shaken.
Lovely splits from Mystic again. Oh, I like this from Asta. He's faking the third base as well. But with Hellions, he's really going to struggle. And look at this, Bunker going down. He's not even going to try. He's not even going to try and challenge the Nidus. He's just accepting this.
This is a counter if I've ever seen one. The Banshee is nowhere near to being completed. And with these Ravagers here, and with this extra Queen up on the high ground here, he's attacking. Oh my god! And he's just taking up both of these Banshees. What a bile!
Mystic pushing into Asta's fourth base.
He needs to split up these units. Oh, that's some good splitting. That was some good split, but it just wasn't good enough here. Mystic just had so much more army, and Baneling's coming out of nowhere like Randy Orton with the RKO. Watch out, watch out, watch out! Mystic is playing a little bit quicker than all of us at the moment, doing heavy amounts of damage in the natural, pulling the Zerglings away.
But they're unprotected, Richie. They're unprotected.
Oh, look at this coming around the back.
Pulls it back just in time.
Back.
Oh, wonderful! Full engagement.
Around the army.
That was just about as good as it could have gone there for Asta. That was just about as good as it could have been. Bane's coming on creep.
The rest of the units at the fourth base are going down. The Mutalisks are dead. 92 supplies to 180. GG, well played. Good luck. And Mystic takes the series 3-1.